Hello. So, in this episode, I'd like to talk about chemo and its effects on cell damage and repair. Um, my little kitty's up there. Um, so, we all know that chemo damages cells. We know that. But what I really didn't start to understand until recently is um, when you have throughout the day, whenever you're doing anything, cells are, you bump yourself, you're damaging yourself. You exercise, whenever you exercise, your muscles are getting small rips and tears. And I think a lot of folks, when they go through chemo, we think, oh, well, it's only a certain time when I probably should be careful with the, exercising and stuff like that. But, and maybe there's some truth to that, but I think what I found is like, oh, thank God, the air conditioner shut off, is like, if I exercise, it's going to take longer for my muscles not to be sore. I mean, twice as long. So say usually it takes 1 to 2 days for my muscles not to be sore. It can take 2 to 4 days, maybe even a week for them not to be sore. And it seems like they're more sore after the exercise. I'm talking a little funny because I bit my tongue, and of course with the chemo it takes forever to heal, and it's pissed off and it hurts like hell. And it just sucks. So anyway, I think it's important for us to understand that life itself is generally damaging to our bodies. And so when we get a session of chemo, at that instant, when that chemo is coursing through our veins, our body is getting damaged. And so anything we do up until, past, the midway cycle of our treatment for that cycle, for me it's, 14 days, and then the last week I'm supposed to be recovering, I guess. It's a little different for everybody, I guess. But, during the time when the chemo is actually doing its thing, your body is just being bombarded and damaged, and, and it's working on the cancer, but it's working on a lot of the other cells too. And so say you have sensitive sinuses, and the air is really dry, which right now it's really dry up here. My sinuses are like, they were inflamed for the first week, and then they dried out, and now they're like, I blow my nose, it starts bleeding. And it's because, if I go in there and with a tissue and try to clean everything out, whenever time you do that, or you scratch your skin, you're removing skin cells. And so, since our bodies can't repair that as fast, you keep doing that, eventually you're going to create a sore. And in the sinuses, it's very sensitive. And when you blow your nose and you get a big old dry boogie out, it's tearing out cells each time you do that. And so it's important to understand that. That's why you get mouth sores, or you don't want to eat crunchy foods, because they scrape the inside of your mouth. You don't want to brush your teeth too hard or floss too hard, because all that damage really can't be repaired in the first 2 weeks after your treatment. Sorry, I'm drooling, my tongue really hurts, but I really wanted to make this video. So what I'm trying to say is, for the first period after your chemo, when the chemo is like the first week, especially, you think, oh, I don't feel so bad. But once the damage is happening, it just hasn't caught up to you yet. So I'm thinking that if I am really careful with how I treat my body and what do I eat, because I've been having my intestinal issues, and now I think I'm having bladder issues because I feel like, I'm not, anyway, I'll make another video for that. But, things just are getting pissed off, inflamed. I mean, I'm getting inflammation in a lot of places. When I had my last blood work, it showed there was a lot of inflammation, which we understand happens. But it means there's damage. So, as cancer patients, it's important to find ways to mitigate that damage, or understand what we're doing that might damage it. So exercising, to build muscle, yeah, if you're doing something you don't ordinarily do, try not to do it right after chemo or the week after chemo. I would wait until after the nadir week is over, but stay active. It's extremely important to stay active, but don't start a new exercise regimen, because, I would say don't, but I would say be very careful about starting a new exercise regimen. Start it very slowly, because I didn't get sore until like more than 24 hours later. So I didn't know I was going to be this sore. I just helped move 6 or 7 bales of hay. And I used to do this all the time, but we changed the way we were feeding the animals. And I just did it, and it was just like within 24 to 48 hours, I was like, whoa, why am I so sore? Oh. And then I stay sore for a longer period of time. So it's important to understand that, because as cancer patients, we're going to run into that with our chemo. And so as far as, there's not much we can do, I don't think, to help speed up the healing process other than getting lots of rest and eating the best we can, which, especially if you get mouth sores, it becomes extremely difficult to eat. And if you're having any kind of intestinal issues, eating also becomes, a challenge. I mean, I'm in both places right now. I had a friggin' bubble on my tongue, and my intestines are moody. So it's eating is kind of one of those things where I really like to eat, but I'm afraid if I eat the wrong thing, it's going to piss off my intestines, and then I'm going to be like crying almost because, they're inflamed, and and trying to poop, it's like shitting fire. It's no fun. Oh God, anyway. But, it's one of the things where you have to learn to kind of cope with. It's a new challenge. So, understanding that chemo does that to our bodies, every part of our body, hopefully it'll help you get through it with fewer problems. Knowing to avoid crunchy, scratchy foods that'll damage your mouth and create those mouth sores. Avoiding the spicy foods or the foods that in the past give you extra gas. For me, wheat does that, and vegetables. I love certain veggies, but I'm not doing a lot of veggies right now. And of course, that's not healthy. But what am I going to do? Do I eat the veggies and then shit fire? Or do I eat, so-so foods and then just, feel like I'm just shitting, semi-normally. But, I don't know, sometimes normally is a good thing. So, understanding that, I think, will help a lot of people get through the chemo stuff better. But, again, it's just really about knowing what the chemo is doing to your cells, knowing that it's damaging the cells, and understanding that our body can't repair as quickly as it used to before the chemo. But once you know with the chemo, of course, your body is able to heal itself. But I know with the Taxotere, it has a half-life of about 3 days. I think it's 3 days. Or is it out of my system in 3 days? Anyway, I think I told you in another video. But once it's out, the damage is done, and it takes time for the damage to really to be done. Be done. And then your body's got to go, oh God, I got to repair all this. And I think it's part of the reason why we're so tired, because our body is using all of our energy to try to repair all the damage from the chemo. And plus, of course, we have become somewhat anemic, and the neutrophils are low, so it's just a mess. Anyway, so I thought I'd try to explain that, and my brain's just kind of chemo brain's kicking in. But hopefully, that was some good information in there, I hope. But I know chemo affects everybody a little bit differently. Some people, they go through it with no problem at all, and others, it just kicks our butts. Like me, this week, it's just kicking my butt. And they call that week Nadir Week. I'm like, who the hell named it that? It's the week of hell. That's what I'm going to call it from now on, the week of hell. For me, that's day 7 through 14, and right now I'm on day 11. So, anyway, As I learn more, I'll try to share more so that when you do your chemo, or if you're going through your chemo, hopefully it'll help you understand why you feel the way you do, and maybe what you can do to help yourself feel better. But when it comes to recovering from cell damage, the best thing you do is just make sure you're getting the best nutrition you can, like taking vitamins if you're not eating well, and sleeping, resting, but staying as active as much as you can safely, but resting as much as you absolutely need. You can't, if you push yourself too hard during your down week and before that, you're going to pay for it. So just be nice to your body. It's the only one you've got, you know. So take care of it, and it will eventually take care of you. But um, yeah. So anyway, as I learn more, I will share more with you. Stay healthy, keep fighting, and